Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking my last 10 palettes. These are the 10 palettes that I've used most recently, and I'm really excited to break all these down, chat about them. This was a really tough ranking. I feel like it always is. I was pretty certain on my top 5, but the bottom 5, I just was not sure what order to put them in, because even the one that I put as number 10, it's not an awful palette. It just ended up being my least favorite, unfortunately, but you know, that's just how it goes. Just because it's number 10 doesn't mean it's an awful palette. It just means it ended up in the 10th spot. Something has to be last. As always, I initially got this video idea from Annette's Makeup Corner. I will have her channel linked down below for you. Please go check her out. I love doing these videos and you guys always seem to enjoy it as well. I love doing a little recap on what I've tried lately, hearing your feedback on these palettes as well, and just kind of giving my rounded up thoughts on them. Without further ado, we're gonna get into it. But before we do, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up. And as far as my accessories today go, I think I got this little ghost face choker from Raven Beads a long time ago. This is just a wig off of Amazon, and my matching ghost face sweater is from Not Your Average Babe. I think I might have a discount code with them. If so, it's battybean in all caps. All of my codes are down below in the description box for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and rank my last 10 palettes. Before we get into the official ranking, technically in between last ranking and this one, I've also been playing with the Perfect World collab that was a 3-way collab between myself, Makeup Just for Fun, Lauren May Beauty, and the brand Odin's Eye. I made the executive decision not to include these in this ranking or my ranking at the end of the year, just because since I was a part of this collab, I'm automatically so biased. These would be my favorite palettes of the year, just because I hold these so near and dear to my heart. This was such a passion project for all 3 of us. So just to keep things fair, I'm not including our collabs in the rankings, but I did just want to shout them out again and mention why they won't be in the rankings. I just don't think it would be fair. So now, without further ado, ranked to number 10. Okay, number 10 ended up being the Sleepaway Camp palette from Creature Cosmetics. It's not a bad palette, it's really not. It's just honestly the one that I felt least inspired by, which seems so silly because it is a rainbow palette, right? Like, it's super bright and colorful. It's just, for me, I don't tend to prefer a rainbow palette. I like a colorful color story, but I want it to be more of a curated color story. I don't want just rainbow colors in a palette, and unfortunately these shimmers aren't quite what I look for as far as shimmers go. These are a little bit more on the satiny side. They didn't pack enough punch for me. I wanted to love this one more than I did, but it just didn't quite hit the mark. Again, it's not an awful palette. I didn't have a problem with like patchiness or blendability. It's just not quite what I need it to be to rank it any higher. By the way, I did do videos with all of these palettes. I'll try to mention where you can find each video. This video is on Instagram and TikTok and probably coming to my YouTube Shorts soon. I'm trying to throw some of my Instagram and TikTok videos onto YouTube Shorts as well, slowly but surely. Next up, moving on to number 9, unfortunately, this one also just didn't quite make it for me. I like this one far more than the previous one, but this one still, it just didn't quite hit the mark. This one is also from Creature Cosmetics. It's the Reanimator palette. I adore this color story. This is so up my alley. I love the vibrant green, purple, blue vibes, but again, it's just not quite there as far as some of the formulations go. The shimmers are again just a little more on the satiny side. I do feel like these have a little more punchiness than the Sleepaway Camp ones, but they're still not quite enough for me. And there is a pressed glitter in here if you want some extra funkiness, but I personally don't prefer to play with pressed glitters, so that doesn't really mean much to me. Overall, I do enjoy playing with this one more than the Sleepaway Camp, but still not enough to rank it any higher. I did play with this in a Get Ready With Me on my channel a while back, and I loved the look I created, but everything else just speaks to me a little bit more. So pretty much starting here at number 8 are ones that I knew for sure I genuinely liked quite a bit more, things I could see myself reaching for more often. So it did pain me to put something as 8th because I don't dislike this palette by any means. But again, when you're ranking things, something has to be at the bottom. So moving on to number 8. Number 8 is my Phantom Thieves palette from Game Beauty. I was so excited about this collection. This seemed like such a fun collab, and even to the point where I started playing the game with Zane. We're not super far into it yet. We've done 2 of the bosses so far and done their whole sequence, so we still have quite a bit more to go through, but I've really been enjoying it. This is what the inside looks like. Super fun, super vibrant. And you could argue that this is also a rainbow palette, but to me, it has just like a slight twist on a rainbow palette. Like, I like the unique shade of purple. I like that it's more of a springy limey green rather than like that true green. I don't know, there's a couple things about this that I like a little bit more. And bonus points to this one, the shimmers in this one are nicer than the Creature Cosmetics ones. They're still not crazy, like shifty, multi-chrome, sparkly, anything like that, but they do have more of a punch, more of a metallic shine. I've enjoyed playing with this one. I really enjoy the formula of the mattes as well. I find them to be so pigmented and blendable. So even though I might like the Reanimator's color story more because it speaks to my soul more, this one overall was just more fun to work with for me, and I really enjoyed it. Moving on to number 7, in the same realm, I basically wanted to keep these next to each other because I have very similar thoughts. I just vibe with this color story slightly more. But also from the Game Beauty Phantom Thieves collab, this is the Metaverse palette. This one I just think is so funky and cool. I quite enjoyed playing with this one. I like these muted, like dusty, colorful tones. I find the shimmers, again, are very rich and they have a really nice metallic shine. This one, I just feel like overall I enjoy using more than the Phantom Thieves palette. There's just something more unique about it. I find I can be a little more creative, play with the grungy side of things more, but if I'm in more of a colorful mood, obviously the Phantom Thieves one would be the way to go. But overall, I really like this one. I played with both of these palettes together, both on my like Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube Shorts, and I also did a YouTube video with these as well and the whole collection. So I really enjoyed this whole collection. I was sad to rank these a little bit lower, but again, I don't dislike them. I think they're a lot of fun. Moving on now to number 6, this will round out the bottom 5 of this ranking. I'm giving it to the Creature Cosmetics Trick or Treat palette. I love Trick or Treat so much. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it every Halloween time. It's so good. I'm absolutely obsessed. And I'm so happy that I got to try this palette out because I didn't buy it when it initially released, and I'm really happy they sent it to me recently. I did do a video with this on like Instagram, TikTok. It'll probably be coming to YouTube Shorts too if it's not already up. And I do enjoy this one. I find this one to be a lot more pleasant to work with than the Reanimator and Sleepaway Camp. And again, I have to stress again, the Reanimator and Sleepaway Camp, they're not bad formulas. They just weren't punchy enough. This one I feel like packs some more punch. I feel like the mattes are even more pigmented and even more buttery. And the shimmers, even though again, they're not crazy, shifty, metallic, these ones I feel like do have more vibrancy and saturation and they add a little bit more oomph. Again, there's a pressed glitter in this one, not my favorite thing, but overall I did really enjoy this one and I am a sucker for this color story. I love the Halloween vibes. I give it to me all year round, please and thank you. I greatly enjoyed playing with this one, but the top 5 did end up just passing by this one just a little bit, and I'm still happy to put this one as number 6. I think it is a good palette and I've really enjoyed playing with it. Moving on now to number 5. It's actually what I'm wearing today. I was very pleased with this one. This is the Sigma Beachy palette. They recently came out with actually 4 little, I think they're called the Party on the Go palettes. I'm still unsure which of these I'm gonna use, so that's why I only have one to talk about today, because I'm just gonna keep these next to me until I decide which of these ones I want to use, because I don't know if I'm gonna use them all. But honestly, I might, now that I've tried this one and I've really enjoyed playing with it. Here's the inside more up close. I feel like it looks very unassuming, pretty basic with pops of blue. I feel like this one was such a happy surprise. Not a surprise in the sense that I thought it would be bad, because I tried Sigma's eyeshadows for the first time last year. I've tried both the Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella palettes and I was so impressed. I, for some reason, just assumed their eyeshadows wouldn't be great since they're, I feel like, complexion products and like brushes are where it's at, but their eyeshadows are really nice too. The mattes are super pigmented and so buttery and blendable. Like, I've never had a patchiness issue, and their shimmers are just so glossy looking on the lids, just that really pretty shiny metallic, and I was super impressed. And this one had me super impressed as well. Obviously I have my Ghostface vibes. I'm seeing the new Scream later today and I was like, I kind of want to use this beachy themed palette but make it super grungified, and I feel like this is the first beachy themed palette that's had like depth and grunginess to it, and I'm obsessed with it. I feel like more times than not a beachy palette is very like beige, tan, pop of blue, like super, super subtle with a pop of blue. This one has so much more drama and I'm really happy with it. I love the way my lids look. I feel like they're so shiny. I love this unique gold shade in between. Like I have this with this in the middle and I love it. I love that light blue in the inner corner. I've had a blast playing with this one. So yeah, I ended up ranking this one higher than I thought and I'm very happy with that. But I knew it wouldn't get ranked any higher because I was pretty set in my top 4. So let's get into those. Number 4 ended up being my Chucky and Glamlight palettes. I used so many spooky palettes this month. I love that for me. This is what the inside looks like. I love this color story. I love these sultry, smoky, plummy, winey vibes. I feel like you can do a lot with it in the smoky realm, kind of play with different tones. You could also do things that are a little softer, but this is definitely a smoky lover's dream. I've played with this both on my YouTube channel in a full video, also on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So there's some looks out there if you need some inspo. I think this is fantastic to work with. I was very, very impressed with the pigmentation. I feel like this had that rich pigmentation that I was missing with the Scooby-Doo collab. So this one made me really happy. The shimmers are very rich and pigmented and metallic on the lids. I was so happy with this. I've never gotten PR from Glamlight before, but I was so happy that they sent this one to me because I was torn on whether to buy it or not. And I might have skipped it, not knowing how much I was gonna love it. So I'm really happy that I have this. Moving on to the top 3. Number 3 is going to be the Salem Cosmetics and Smink collab, the Forest Heart palette. I love this packaging. This is what the inside looks like. It is a fairy tale I love. I was super happy not only to see this wonderful collab, but just to also see how beautiful the insides were. I've been so impressed with Salem Cosmetics, specifically over their last 2 eyeshadow palettes because they really stepped up their shimmer game. But this is just amazing. The mattes are so pigmented and rich and they blend easy, and these shimmers are just out of this world, shifty, sparkly, magical. I'm so impressed with this. I played with this in a get ready with me on my channel and then also another video on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So I've really enjoyed this. I think it is beautiful. Congratulations to both the creator and the brand for this amazing collab. I'm very impressed with it. Moving on now to number 2, it's going to be my Rogue palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Look at this. It is magical. I love these blue tones. It is so rich and amazing. These shimmers are so shifty and sparkly. I love this brand. Their Druid was my #1 palette last year, and I'm so excited to see their first palette of the year off to a fantastic start. This is their 4th palette, and it is absolutely amazing. This palette is also their first one that is fully magnetic, and these are sold as singles, so you can pick up just a couple of these shades if you don't want the whole palette. But I love this. I've played with this both in a YouTube video and then also, again, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, what have you. But I just absolutely adore this one. I knew immediately this was gonna get ranked highly. This is one of my favorite brands, and I'm super excited about this one, and I can't wait to see what's next. Moving on to number 1, I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone, and this is so deserving of the #1 spot for me, but it is the Moonfall palette from Shroud Cosmetics. I've been so excited about this. This was in the works for such a long time. I adore Chloe so much. Obviously, I have collabs with Shroud, but I was super excited to see this one come to life. It is so, so incredibly beautiful. This is a palette that was highly requested from her customer base. She's come out with multiple singles in the Moonfall line. She came out with these 4 singles, I think 2 years ago if I had to guess, and then she has come out with the 4 shimmers in years past as well, but these are revamped shimmers. So all the mattes in this palette are the same. This is a brand new matte right here, and these are all revamped, super special, amazing versions of those previous shimmers. They are different enough that I'm personally okay with having both, but obviously do what you will, that's your prerogative. The new shades and the new matte in the middle aren't sold as singles yet, but I think she does plan to do it eventually. But overall, I am in love with this. I did do a video on my YouTube channel, and then again, also Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, yada, yada, yada. I love this. These are so my colors. I love these vibes so much. They're so grungy and rich, and these shimmers are amazing. She has stepped her shimmer game up so much over the years. I've always loved her shimmers. They're so rich and like thicker and saturated and metallic, but I love that she's been transitioning to still keeping true to that, but with also these amazing shifts. I love this palette. I'm so excited about it. I'm so proud of her. And this was for sure gonna be my #1. I couldn't see something beating it in this ranking. And yeah, that is my ranking of my last 10 palettes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope my ranking made sense to you, but if not, that's fine because it makes sense to me. I would love to hear your thoughts on these palettes. Have you tried any of these? Do you want any of these? I would love to chat down below. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave your last 10 most recently used emojis? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe. If you want to see more of my videos, I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye. The joy of red lips and trying not to get it on my teeth. I feel like it's such a me thing to see a beachy palette and like completely stray from the beachy idea. I'm like, oh, beachy themed? Absolutely not. Let's see if we can make it grungy.